Welcome to the Only in Movies podcast. I'm your host, Denari, coming to you from Austin, Texas.
And I'm your host, Amato, coming to you from Buffalo, New York. And in this podcast, we break down scenes and discuss things that happen only in movies. Welcome back, everybody. How y'all doing? What's going on? Welcome back, listeners.
Hello, good people.
All right, we're really in the mix now. We've been doing this for a while. So you know what we're about to say, but we got to say it anyway because you got to do it because it's important.
Yes. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Only in Movies Pod to find out what movie we will be covering on our upcoming episodes. Also, make sure you watch ahead and send us your suggestions for scenes that you think made our Only in Movies list, and also for a chance for your suggestion to get featured on the show.
All right, this week's movie, Us. Y'all been waiting for this one. We've been getting questions about this one since the day we started, people. So we finally did it.
And Get Out. We
finally did it. So y'all can shut up now. We're going to do Get Out eventually, but we wanted to do this one first. So directed by Jordan Peele, starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Shahadi Wright Joseph, and Evan Alex. A little bit about the movie. Accompanied by her husband, son, and daughter, Adelaide Wilson returns to the beachfront home where she grew up as a child. Haunted by a traumatic experience from the past, Adelaide grows increasingly concerned that something bad is going to happen. Her worst fears soon become a reality when four masked strangers descend upon the house, forcing the Wilsons into a fight for survival. All right. So
that's interesting. Were they all masked at one point?
I don't know. That's what the official movie description says. You know?
Yeah, I just thought about that now.
You talked to Google about that. I think so, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Maybe when they were originally standing in the driveway.
I think so, though.
That's a good question.
I'm almost 100% sure. The mother was definitely masked.
And you know the son is masked.
Definitely masked, right?
But I don't recall the daughter and the dad ever being masked. Well, anyways,
budget was $20 million. It grossed 175 in the U.S. and 79, so 254 total worldwide. That's a fucking come up. So it's what you look for in a movie. First off, Lupita Nyong'o's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I just want to say that.
Yeah,
she's just
I'm a fan.
And
I love that she speaks Spanish.
She's just gorgeous. I was like, wow, she is a beautiful, really beautiful woman. All right, so
for those of you that don't know, she was born in Mexico.
I didn't know that.
Those that don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't know, people named Amato. She was born in Mexico. So we start the movie learning that there's thousands of miles of tunnels under the U.S. Do you remember Hands Across America? Is that a thing that you remember from your childhood? No, right? Yes?
I can't even place it as like from my childhood itself. I think it's maybe my early 90s. I heard the reference,
okay,
but I never recall actually seeing anything on TV or anything like that.
I remember thinking it was stupid. I wasn't probably old enough to think it was stupid, but I remember thinking it was stupid. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. As a lover of 80s movies, I've definitely
seen a million references, right?
Yes.
Another thing I had a question was, have you ever had a black and white TV? Because they showed the 80s TV, the old TV, and it made me, reflect back. And I've had some old ass TVs. Like I had the big ass TV that had the record player in it. No, a tube.
Oh no.
I'm talking about the big TV you see on like 50 shows. My grandparents had it. They had the record player on the top of it with like the big ass speakers on both sides that weighed like more than both of us combined. And then I had a black and white television coming up. And have you ever had a black and white TV?
No, I think even in DR, we had a really small TV, but it was color.
Ours probably lasted till like 86, 7. And then it was but it was like the cool little TV we had in the kitchen. I always remember.
Oh, see, so I had a little black and white one. Yeah, in the kitchen. There was a small one in the kitchen, black and white.
Okay.
So I knew it.
So you have watched TV in black and white.
Yeah.
There's people who've never done that before. There's people listening to this who've never done that before. That's like a thing. So, your thoughts?
I went into Us knowing very little the first time I watched it, and I did see it in the movie theaters. I purposely didn't look up any explanations or anything. There's like a million articles that came up.
So I've been avoiding those as well. Yeah. I've been trying not to see. I actually haven't really read an article or anything about it until after. I've avoided all the discussions I could about it too.
Yeah, and I wanted to watch it again fresh because I did have questions when I watched it the first time, but I didn't want to just jump right into an article and get the answer. And I was even added to chats. Shout out to Steven and Carlos, where there was a breakdown going on, and I just refrained from participating because I wanted to kind of see if I could figure it out or like get as much as I can from the movie on
There's a
on my
lot
own.
going on. There's definitely
And I caught all
on.
like the allegories, all the references, and all that. I caught a lot of it.
I can't say I caught all of them. I won't even lie to you. I've only watched it once. I caught a good amount, but
well, what I mean by that is that I knew that they were there, but I didn't truly understand like the meaning behind it.
Right.
So I could tell that there was like some kind of message being conveyed here, not exactly what and not exactly to what level. Touch on it on the wrap up, but I did get a little bit more clarity on the second watch.
So I've only watched it once. I could use another watch, but I hate watching movies twice, so I'm not watching it again.
That's another thing. I didn't want to read everything about it if I knew I was going to watch the movie again as soon as it was available. Yeah, I was gonna get sick of it. Well, were you a fan of his first film, Get Out?
So I did like Get Out. I was late to the Get Out party, so I didn't watch Get Out till it was on Netflix. I knew I would like it, and I did. I enjoyed it a lot. I liked Get Out. It was a really good movie, really cerebral, made you think. I definitely enjoyed Get Out, and I also watched Have you watched any of the Twilight Zone episodes he's done?
No, I heard about those, but I
haven't watched a bunch of them. I definitely watched at least one or two of them, and they were very, very, very well done. I really enjoyed those as well.
I know you're a fan of Twilight Zone.
I love me some Twilight Zone.
I was a fan as well. I haven't kept up. I know that they've had them on Netflix and a couple other places available. I haven't gone back to watch them, but
very few things as nostalgic as sitting home watching Twilight Zone on July 4th when they do the marathon, or just coming in a random episode throughout the day as you walk in the house. That's one of those things that I really love.
Awesome. All right, do you want to get into the first scene?
Okay, so we're gonna get into the Only in Movies list. This is a list of scenes that we both watched the movie and decided that this could only happen in movies. So my first scene was really literally like one of the first scenes, or literally the first scene when they're at the carnival and the dad's supposed to be watching his daughter, and she wanders off. But she doesn't wander a little far away. She wanders down some stairs to a beach, to a freaking
dark ass staircases, dark beach.
He doesn't say, like, at no point you don't even hear him like running behind her screaming, you know, like, Addy, where are you? Addy, where'd you go? Addy, oh my God, I lost my. You don't hear none of that.
No, she had time to stay out into the water, hang out.
Yeah, like, right. She didn't do all of this stuff fast. She meandered as much as possible, slowly, to get to her destination. So I think he needed a leash at minimum. I don't think they had leashes back then.
or a bell on her.
A bell, something. Right, something. A bell mail.
That she's moving.
At least like a pocket full of change. A sock. Like you said. You can get her a sock. And, yeah. At least just make some noise. So I felt like that was completely like negligent. Like he was paying her no mind. But there was a lot of, as you said, there was a lot of little things throughout that scene. The whole Jeremiah 11:11 reference, which is referenced.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you caught that.
Yeah. As soon as I watched that, I went and looked it up and tried to understand what it meant and all of that stuff. It was pretty straightforward. It wasn't a super complicated. For those of you who may not watch the movie or may not know what that meant, it's obviously a biblical verse, and it talks about evil and evil coming, essentially.
Yeah, essentially evil coming and not having mercy to those who the evil is being done.
So that was like foreshadowing throughout the whole movie, obviously.
Right. Hard to understand that when you're watching it live, you know, of course.
Right.
Without the ability to
Right,
Google.
you don't have time to stop. Right, because again, there's a lot going on, so you got to pay attention, especially, you know, as she's wandering, there's a lot of little subtle things. I also wanted to point out the Thriller shirt. She was wearing the Thriller shirt. So
yes.
As an 80s kid, we had to watch the VHS of the making of Thriller, and we watched that ad nauseum. Did you ever see the making of Thriller VHS? Oh, man. I watched that.
I saw the wait, is that, I think it might be the same thing. Maybe, I don't know if it was VHS, but I would catch it on TV, I guess, where they would show all like the
makeup
all the makeup and how he would turn into a wolf.
Yeah.
So I did watch it.
I've seen that thing like a billion times. So that was my scene. Just, you know, another parent being negligent and not paying attention and leading their kid down a path of destruction.
That was one of my Come On fams, actually. That was my first one. So I would not have gone anywhere down there. I understand she was bored or something, but she's ballsy.
Right. Well, that's a whole nother thing. So there's one thing to walk away from your family and just like wander to another game or to like basketball or to the arcade. She wandered downstairs to a beach into a house of mirrors. Like, what? How does that happen?
The third level of hell. Like what?
Right. Like what? You found the one place in the entire world you shouldn't be right then. At first, I thought the white guy who held up the Jeremiah sign was going to do something to her, and then he didn't. And then I was like, so why didn't the dad just go, hey, did you see my daughter?
I also found interesting that, and I guess, as we're watching this in sequential order, we wouldn't have known this. At least I didn't remember at all. But they explain it a little bit at the end of the movie. I think she might have been being controlled by her shadow self, her red self as well, to go down there.
Right.
Did you consider that piece?
A bit, but the dad could have still just grabbed her and said, come the fuck on. We're going home. Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. This is just...
just why she would wander towards that direction, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I got that. But yeah, the dad he was whacking moles, man.
Right.
He was busy.
Right. Those moles need to be whacked.
So my first scene is when the son, Jason, played by Evan Alex, he goes and says, there's a family in our driveway. So it's that scene. And the dad, Gabe, he's just fighting Addy to say, no, don't call the cops. Don't call the cops. I'm like, fam, you got a whole group of strange people staring you down on your driveway. It's okay to call the cops at this point, I would say.
Well, and you could tell one of them's a relatively big dude. Like, even if you're a big dude, you could look from the driveway and go, that's a big ass dude over there.
Yeah. So maybe I could take one. All right. Can I take all four? Probably not. And are my two other kids going to be able to take some kids? No. Like, this is...
But you don't know if they're kids or just short adults. You don't know from that distance.
Short adults. They were in the shadows. They could be either or. All right. It could be a really strong little person. It could be...
You're gambling at that point.
Then when he finally does go outside and he confronts the family and they're not exactly responsive, and he wants to come back in. Yo, you call the cops? I was like,
which would waste 5 minutes at least. And the cops said they were 14 minutes away, and it took them I don't remember them ever getting there.
No, we found out.
You find out way later why. Yes,
anywhere.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I was like 14 minutes. So that's funny you mentioned that, because right after he comes in and asking about them calling the cops, he breaks the cardinal rule of horror movies and he goes outside. He goes outside twice. So he already went outside the first time when he shouldn't have. Then he goes outside the second time, even after he knows the cops are coming. So you have 14 minutes to pretty much stall them, and you could do that from inside your house. You don't have to go out there and do that.
Right.
And then my last piece for that scene was when they finally did try to get in. Why did no one help him when he was trying to close the door?
Why did no one help him?
No one got weapons.
Why did no one help him? Why did he run to the door with the only weapon they have so they could just jukes it from him and hit him with it? There was just no planning going into.
Yeah, I was like, why did so that nobody else went to get weapons? I was like, wake up, people! All right, you are under attack.
Right. Yeah, everybody needs to start doing something.
So yeah, that was my first scene, and then we saw as the movie went on that Gabe maybe wasn't the brightest bulb in the house, or whatever the saying is.
But my I have written fucking help with door. Went with only weapon. What the hell? What's going on? I thought it was mad funny when they said they hid the key. He was like, what kind of white shit? I was like, I agree. That's just fucked up. You're just letting them bring. Here's the key. It's in a rock. This rock looks nothing like any other rock, and it's right in the middle of the road.
It wasn't even hidden behind a bush or something. Yeah, that's supposed to be only for you. Not supposed to be anybody that wants to try it.
Right,
will be the first guess. Right? Yeah. Did you also catch the tied game, 7th inning, 11-11, right before that scene?
I did not. In the baseball?
Yeah, when he's watching the Giants play.
No, I know.
Yeah, the announcer goes, "Hey, we're tied up here, 11-11," and I was like, "Oh, another one." And then a couple of minutes after, you see it again on the clock when the sun.
I saw the clock. I caught the clock. I did not catch the. So that's a little bit before that, based on my notes. So that was probably I got you.
She actually said it. She's like, "Oh yeah, they're coming up increasingly more often."
Right. Yeah.
And they show that because they went from the Jeremiah guy outside, then boom, they show the tie game and the clock right away, and then the next thing that happens, the lights go out. So it was definitely approaching.
So speaking of Gabe, one of the first things that stuck out to me about him was he talked very proper, and I thought that was very intentional,
proper and deliberate.
Yes, and I thought that as the movie progressed and you understood what was going on, that was very intentional in the story. But at first, I was like, he's very just deliberate with everything he says. but he's also like the worst judge of character that ever lived in history. Like you could tell his wife is distressed and he's sitting there in his boxes expecting to get some, but I was like, I don't think so, buddy.
He's a doofus. He's a little bit of a doofus. You got
He's
that
a
from
doofus.
the beginning.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Well, he's like, this song is not about weed. I'm like, well, it's actually all about weed.
And she's like, there's a black cloud. And he's like, so I'm not going to hit, is what you're saying? Is that what you're intimating here?
Yeah. So speaking about them conversing, would you believe your partner if they came at you like that, the way Addy did with her story?
After a year? Well, so, okay, you know what? That I was considering that as one of my scenes. So they were together for, I can't remember by this time, like 6 years or something like that? No.
Yeah, I don't remember the actual timeline.
No, so they've been together for at least how old their oldest daughter is, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
They came to have vacation there last year at that same exact place. And she's just now telling me the story. I would feel a little like, yo,
why?
A little,
like, why? Yeah,
like I don't want to say betrayed. The betrayed is the word I would actually probably say. That's not what I would really feel.
Betrayed isn't the right word, but it's the first word that comes to mind.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That
you understand
phrase.
what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not exactly a best description, but that's something that I think is important. We're supposed to talk about our traumas. In a relationship, if you don't discuss your traumas, there's going to be a lot of issues.
Yes, I would definitely be I could see why you say betrayed, and that little line for those that might recognize this from writer Chuck Palahniuk. You ever heard about him?
No, I have no idea.
Book Choke. All right.
No, I've choked some people.
Shout out to Chuck. Well, yeah, I would feel some type of way about the fact that she chose not to confide in me, and like you said, we've been here already before since that happened.
I would be like, wait, why are we back? If you are so uncomfortable here,
why are we here? Right?
Why are we here currently? Why wouldn't you just say that, and we would have never came back here ever? I have
so that implies then that you would believe her, or at the very least you would be like, so why are we back?
Yeah.
You would...
Yes, 100%. But I believe more in the supernatural and all of that stuff than you do. You're a non-believer.
See, yeah, and I think I forget if it was for this movie, for Halloween or what. But we discussed the fact that I'm not superstitious. I don't really believe in the supernatural, but I do believe people. Right. So if you're telling me something and a particular person that's close to me, I believe them even more. You know what I mean? So some guy off the street tells me something crazy like this, so I'll be like, all right. So what if my long-term partner tells me this? That probably carries a lot more weight than,
yeah, like off the street. I would be like, let's just leave now.
Right. Even if I don't believe that's another thing. You can be cautiously incredulous. So I might not fully believe you, but let's get out of the way of harm while I figure this shit out. All right.
Right. Right.
There's no reason to, because if you're right, then we're fucked.
Right.
That's pretty much what it boils down to. The point, and I love that about the movie World War Z, because he says if 11 guys in a room of 12 people are telling you the same thing and one guy's telling you something different, it begs to explore why this one guy is telling you something different.
Right.
So yeah, I might not believe it 100%, but you best believe I'm gonna probably try to get as far as I can from the area and then assess the situation a little better.
Yeah,
he was very nonchalant about that whole thing. Too nonchalant.
100%. I have 100%. He just let it go. But again, so for me, from a point of view where I am a superstitious person in that regard, I wouldn't say superstitious. So I believe in supernatural and things of that nature. I'd have been like, word, let's get the fuck out of here. Well, you ain't got to tell me to. You could have said you just feel bad. I believe in energy. People's energies, the energy you feel. Yeah, you could walk in the room and this room don't feel right. I'm not staying in that room. I'm out. Peace. So I don't know why. I would, and also too, and
I've been in situations. It's funny you mentioned that the energy not being right. If I'm with someone and someone tells me that when we walk in somewhere,
but you gotta listen to them,
probably
right?
Still be like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here.
I have a bad feeling about this. You know what? Then me too. Let's go. You could tell me about your bad feeling as we travel to our new destination.
Yeah, you know what's fine? If nothing happens, nothing happened. That's the good part about that.
But if something does, and you said I had a bad feeling and I didn't do nothing, I'm an idiot.
I'm gonna feel like a jerk. Yeah.
So my next scene is when Jason wanders off on the beach, right? So
Okay.
again,
Yeah.
we're completely negligent. The mean girls were completely jerks. So again, those were one of the ones I didn't feel bad when they got killed. I was like, oh well,
Nah,
too
yeah.
bad.
I was expecting the sister, honestly, to defend the brother's honor.
I was kind of perturbed by that because I have a big sister, and
Yeah, she wouldn't have played that shit.
Nah, son. Nah, she wouldn't let your little brother's weird and go in the water, and I don't. They wouldn't. So yeah. So I was perturbed by that because again, I have a big sister who would defend the shit out of me. He wanders off on the beach by himself. Nobody's paying attention. They let him wander off. Even as an older kid, if you're being a jerk to a younger kid, you should still know you shouldn't let them wander off, or you should watch where they're going, even if you fucking hate them, because you don't.
He told the sister though.
Yeah, well, yes, he did. He told his sister, but then he just wandered off randomly too.
We don't know where the bathroom is at all.
He didn't stay in eyesight. He didn't stay somewhere he could be seen. So then he comes out the bathroom and there's a strange man on the beach and the guy's standing there. And instead of completely running immediately, he kind of just walks towards him a little bit to get a better glimpse of what's going on with the strange looking homeless man on the beach with blood dripping from his fingers.
And a trench coat.
Who gets closer to a strange elderly man in a trench coat?
Yeah, no. So before we move on to my next scene, right after my first scene, once the Red family breaks into the house, you finally get to see the introduction of them. Did you understand or did you catch why Red Addy spoke that way, after watching the movie?
I thought I understood, but then I didn't, because once I realized that was real Addy, I didn't understand why her speech degraded.
Because real Addy got choked by Red Addy when she was in that mirror room.
Oh, okay, I missed that. I definitely missed that. So not all of the people from there speak like that?
Right. They don't. They make noises and such.
Right.
But you notice most of them don't speak at all.
Right.
And that's what you would expect. You wouldn't expect them to speak.
Right.
Not speak broken the way she did. And I got caught that way as well. When I was watching the movie, I'm like, oh, she can't speak well because she's barely, able to speak. But I didn't make the connection with the choking because they show that all the way at the end. But that's actually in reality why you never hear any of the other tethered people speak.
Okay.
But you do hear her. And then they finally, one of the last scenes of the movie, when they show what actually happened to Addy in that mirror room, you see her get choked by the red version of her and then get dragged down there and stuff. So yeah, I mentioned that because I didn't catch that fully when my first watch.
No, I missed
either.
that. No, I understand. I got it now that you say it. It totally makes sense, but I didn't catch that.
And then what did you think about when Red Addy says, we're Americans, when they ask, like, who are you?
Yeah, I thought that was, yes. I got that. Yes, I got the subtleties in that. But before that, I thought it was crazy that Gabe kept still trying to negotiate with them when it was obvious they didn't want to negotiate. Well, he was we don't have anything. This is just my summer house. And just goes through this.
Like, why are you still trying to offer them money?
Like, they don't want money, fam. Chill.
Yeah, and Addy's like, Joe, stop. And then they proceed to do all this crazy stuff, and she proceeds to talk and do this whole explanation about who they are and where they're from. And he goes,
you can have the
boat.
boat.
Like I said, my house is there's not really much. I'm like, come on, Gabe. Come on, man. Like, you could do a little better than this, Gabe. I was definitely let down by Gabe as a character.
Yeah.
In that instance. But yeah, so my next scene is reactions of the other family that they were there with the twin daughters get stabbed. I thought that was a little bit odd. They all just kind of stood there for a second. Only the other twin, who was actually immediately next to the person, her sister, started moving away. But it was still a little bit like underwhelming, like, oh my God, like somebody just got stabbed.
So
I felt like everybody should have been flipping shit immediately.
I just running, yeah. So my scene is the same scene, but for a different reason.
So I'm sure we're gonna have overlap then if your scene is pretty close to here. Because why did the Red version of the Tyler family march in there and kill everybody else in 3 seconds flat, but they left Adelaide alive and tied up? I didn't understand that at all.
Yes, that's exactly what my question was. But my question was, why did that version kill their family super quick and efficiently, yet the Addy and a Gabe version just sit there tell. I understood that she needs to let her know when they came from and all of that. They could have like cut them up a little bit first and then told them the story. Incapacitated them. They gave them more than enough opportunities to escape.
Yeah, the Wilson family,
they hung out, they talked.
Addy was tied up. Yeah, they had definitely more chances.
Yeah, now they walked up in there, killed them. It was like, okay, it's game over. This is our house now.
Yeah, and then after that, after the whole fight ensues with the Wilson family versus the Red Tyler family, and they win. Then they're all of a sudden they're chilling in the living room, chatting it up. The dad again wants to do as little as possible, except for booby traps.
Yes.
I was like what?
Home Alone, right?
Yeah. I was like, come on, man. He's learned nothing. I was like, first of all, he wants to stay in place. That didn't work out too hot in your last place that had fewer glass walls. And then he's talking about having all the food that they need as if the problem is that they're going to run out of food. I mean, no, someone's going to come in and kill you. All right.
Right. I wasn't thinking we're going to go hungry, right? What is our plan to secure this location so they can't infiltrate?
Yeah, because they can see us right now.
Right. This is glass.
We're in a glass box.
So I in that scene too, this is the second time that they tried to go do something and someone forgot their keys. And I was like, I'm not cool with this. Like, that's like the first thing. We're running into the car for the getaway. Somebody has to have the keys. That's like essential.
Yeah, and it's hectic.
It's hectic,
So
but fam, if we're trying to escape.
But it's a problem.
Yeah, no, you need to have the one thing that's going to enable us to escape. But I did love when Zora said, I have the highest kill count. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, I was about to say, the kill count conversation, although funny, I was like, when did he get so comfortable just, being in this whole killer situation? Yeah. I was like, it's a little fast for me.
Right.
And a couple of times during the movie, there is that little bit of like surrealness where it's almost like they're aware that they're in a slasher film. You know what I mean? That was one of them. And then later on, again, they discuss kind of what's happening in a tone that's a little bit too understanding, if you know what I mean. Because usually the people, when they have to kill other people, they're a little bit traumatized. Right. And
no, they just kept it moving. So what was funny too for me was that was Zora's first time behind the wheel. And earlier that day, before I watched this movie, I let Anastasia drive and reverse down the driveway a little bit for her first time. And then I watched that and I was
shit.
Because she has her permit now. So I watched, I watched that and was like, oh snap, in case of a zombie apocalypse, at least she knows what buttons or what pedals do what now. So I know if she has to run over a zombie, I could say gas and she can know what to do.
At the very least. Did you peep how Adelaide was grunting like them when she was killing the last of the twin girls? When the son walked in, and that's the first time he kind of... So when she went back in to get the keys that you mentioned, she's fighting the last twin girl, and she finally gets her on the floor, and she's like stabbing her. And the son walked in to kind of check what the mom was doing, Jason, and he gave her a look because she was grunting just the way that they were grunting when they were killing, they were trying to kill them. So that's the first kind of inkling in the movie that you get that something's a little off here with Addy. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I didn't. I'm trying to look at my notes to see if I did.
So they did definitely drop little clues here and there throughout the movie.
I was like, they didn't even think about ways to get her out of the shackles. They just let her run around in the shackles.
No.
Like, they didn't even consider, like, maybe we should think about ways to get these off. They just let her just run around and struggle and figure her shit out.
When you first see Addy pick up the fire stoker in the house, I thought she was going to go into her to try to break up the handcuffs or something, or like the links. Like, no, she just wanted to get out of the table. But no, I at a couple of points when they grabbed things, I thought they were going to help the mom get loose. And they were like, nah, you get...
So you talked about never doing an escape room. So some mutual friends of ours, they did an escape room, and the first thing that they did was get handcuffed, and they did the entire escape room handcuffed. And when they got to the end, the guy was like, the first clue was to get the key to the handcuffs, right?
So you didn't think something was wrong with this picture where you're handcuffed the entire time?
The entire time. So they did the shit in the handcuffed the entire time.
She made it work.
She survived. She's a survivor. All right, so we're going to go into Come On Fams. And Come On Fams are scenes we saw that were quick, and we're just like, come on, fam. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So I thought it was funny when they first get to the summer house and the car pulls up, they get there, and they're like, the Wi-Fi's not working. I'm like, how do you know that from the driveway? Like, what kind of Wi-Fi do you have?
They used to pulling up like, bloop, bloop, connected.
Yeah, like what kind of fucking spoiled ass shit you got?
I thought that Addy flipped out kind of quick at the beach when Jason was missing, or quote missing, because she's like, "Oh, where's Jason?" She starts asking. They look around for like 3 seconds, and she starts yelling and running around. And I'm like, they didn't even ask the sister. The sister was sitting there, the sister was right there. She could have just walked up to her like, "Hey, Zora, where is Jason?" She would have been like, "He's in the bathroom." I'd be like, "Done. All right." She's like, "Jason!"
And then when he said I have to go to the bathroom, and the girls were like, "Pee in the ocean." I was like, what the fuck? Like, who raised y'all chick?
So I was like, come on, man. I was like, why would you start flipping out so crazy? And not like, I've been in situations where, you know, you misplace someone.
Well, it depends on the age too. Like if you misplace your child, it's different than me misplacing Stasia.
Yeah. I'm like, he was probably like what, 7, 8 maybe? Like he was not exactly a baby. I mean, he went to the bathroom on his own.
I thought it was funny that when they first noticed the family outside, they point out that the bedroom window's open. Zora goes, "I'll run and close it." She runs to go close it. She sees the hombre climbing up the window. She gets scared and she never actually closes the window.
Did she not? I thought she
so
did.
What the fuck was her? Nah, she did not. I'm almost 100% sure she did it. She got real close to it, but she didn't close the window. So what the fuck did she do?
Maybe she got freaked out.
Yeah, she did. No, she did get freaked out by seeing her climbing, but she had one job. It was to close the window. She didn't do it.
Maybe she realized this shit ain't gonna work.
Right, fuck a window. They can get upstairs.
This chick is climbing a fucking tree.
Yeah, she might come down the fucking chimney. Yeah,
right. I was like, all right, never mind. Abort. This plan ain't gonna work.
I guess that confused me too, because like, what was the limit of their powers? Like, why didn't you just come down the chimney? I don't think it would have affected them.
Yeah, we established that first family got her really easy. They were like playing with them. The fact that she let the Umbra let Zora just run away. Essentially, like they were playing. It's like a
game,
an exhibition. Yeah, she just wanted to go catch her. But my next come on fam scene was when Jason's finished doing a bloody drawing, and Addy asks him, "Hey, so who is in this drawing?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I was like, she just brushes it off. Like, how about a follow-up question, maybe? Like, where did you see this guy? What made you draw him? This is an actual person? Where, she's just like, okay.
Oh, never.
Like, your son just drew a bloody person with him clearly watching this person. And then the other one for me was around Gabe and his boat. He had a couple of problematic scenes in the boat. Gabe is swimming, and Abraham at that point has fallen off the boat, and he finally sees the boat coming back again. He's like looking around, looking for where the guy is. I'm like, what does it matter? Just get on the boat and leave.
See, no, I put the opposite, honestly. I put the boat just kind of wandered back to you, luckily. Why just jump on it? And he probably somewhere around or near it. It was my thought for that scene.
Yeah, I definitely knew he was around or near it. My problem was he's wasting time in the water when your family is clearly not being helped by you being there.
Yeah.
When he finally does get on the boat, then he just chills right at the water's edge. That
I agree with.
I thought was stupid.
You got it. I just thought he was.
I was like, because he could have gone on and dipped,
He kind of jumped on that boat relatively quickly, considering that there could have been a guy right around the corner that he didn't know about.
But yeah, he got on it, and then he decides to take a breather immediately after placing his, a foot on the boat. I was like, how about you at least get your whole body over the edge, and face behind you or something?
So it killed me when he told the dude, "I have a family." I'm like, really?
I'm telling you, Gabe was not playing out too well in this movie.
Yeah.
And then my last come on fam scene was Addy decides to leave the car to finish off Umbre again. And I'm like, these people do not love themselves. Why do you keep exiting your places
of safety,
of shelter?
Right.
All right.
I don't think people in movies, and especially horror movies, implement the run you the fuck over method of destruction enough. People like to get out of their car.
They always do the whole stop and stare.
Yeah. Or get out, stop and then get out and like, no, I'm running you over. I'm backing up, running you over again. And then I'm gone. I'm not even going to check to see if you're okay. I don't care if you're dead.
Yeah, that's the other one. I was about to say, let me get out and check.
No, I'm good.
So if they're not dead, what are you going to do?
Right. Now, again, you're exposed.
Yeah, that was my last one. Forgot to ask earlier. Did you also catch tethered Addy whistling at the end of the movie?
Yes,
Did you
yes,
get the
that I
connection
did
there?
get. Yes,
I missed that the first time I watched it. I didn't notice that she was like the whole connection with the real Addy whistling in the beginning of the movie, and the red Addy then whistling at the end. That was pretty good. We can get into our funny stuff if you have any.
I thought it was hilarious when the dad said, "I copped a boat and it has a cassette player." And I was like, "Wait."
He was so happy about
what?
that.
Do they have cassettes to play in the cassette player?
Hey, it's the new age. You can put that adapter. You ever use that cassette adapter to use the aux cord?
To play a cassette?
No. You use the cassette tray
to play the CDs
with an adapter to play the.
I guess on your iPhone too, right?
Phone.
You could do. Yeah, but that was the first time I ever saw that was with you in like 2007 or maybe 9.
That was the first time.
That I saw one that connects to the phone. Yes, maybe 2009. So that's at least 10 years ago.
Later on,
at least 10 years ago. If you still have one of those, you're probably a little weird. If you haven't got onto this thing called Bluetooth,
or to get so excited about it too, it might be a little weird. I found it funny that they're a stick figure family. I don't know if you saw that at the back of the van.
I know, I missed that.
In the world, there's a general fight going on between the families that use the stick figures and the ones that don't. You also get a lot of retaliatory stickers that says like "fuck your stick figure family."
Yeah. What did they have though?
No, they just had them do like a little afro and stuff.
Oh no, I'm not a stick figure
one of those
family person. First off, you're just giving people just way too much information about your life.
Yeah, there are 5 people in this family, including a dog and a cat.
Kidnap us all. Make sure you don't leave any of us behind.
If you do not hear the dog and the cat, we're all not home. Come on in.
We took the dog and the cat to the vet. I thought it was really weird that Gabe was like the Tyler family dad. I think John was his name. He got a new car just to fuck with me. Do people buy cars thinking about how they're fucking with other people when they buy them? I was like, get a life. Like, nobody's thinking about you when they buy a car.
Hey, you don't know the rich people struggles.
Right. Their debates.
That's how they stunt on each other. Yeah. I'm gonna one up you by buying a whole boat.
With a cassette player, bitch.
I thought it was pretty funny how, speaking of Gabe, how he pulled the ill emotional manipulation, bringing up a dead grandmother just to go to the beach.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn.
Yeah. He was not like a really good person.
No.
When the Tyler family gets to knock on the door and the dad says, "It's OJ," I thought that was funny as hell. Yeah. I thought it was super misplaced, but that shit was funny as hell.
Yeah, there were a couple of things that were misplaced. I found like the whole "fuck the police" song misplaced.
Yeah, when they said Alexa played call the police and they played "fuck the police." Yeah, that was dope.
So you like that? I thought that was misplaced.
I thought that was hilarious.
For it,
I thought that was hilarious. I thought both of those were fucking hilarious. So when Kitty goes to grab the red version of her shoes, I'm like, what are those? She had on like Jesus sandals. Where did they get their shoes from?
I found it funny how tethered Addy goes, "I had to eat rabbits in the shadow world," and Umbre, she was born smiling. And I'm like, that's not so bad. You just went from like, I had to eat rabbits to she was born smiling.
Laughing. Wasn't it laughing? She was born laughing.
Yeah, either way, I was like, okay. I was like, that's not so bad.
Right. Some places rabbits are a delicacy. Yeah.
I know, right? I was like, oh, that doesn't seem so bad. Yeah, and speaking of Zora, the daughter, I found it hilarious that she didn't yell a word of warning when that random guy approached her red version in the middle of the car peekaboo scene when she was like hiding. Oh,
she just let the red version just kill dude.
Yeah, the dude's like, "Hey, get out of my car." She didn't say. She's like, "Poop, good luck."
Right. This on you now, right?
Yeah.
Tag, you're
that's fucked up, but yeah, survival.
Yeah, not what you were supposed to do. Sir, Mr. No. So the whole when Josh is the Tyler dad, when he's fighting Gabe on the boat and Gabe pulls out the flare gun that he said he didn't have and then misses completely.
I know. I was pretty I like the fact that was the letdown because I was like, oh no, he got the flare gun, and it was like, wah wah. I thought Josh was actually pretty funny when he was the red character.
Red Josh.
He did the handshake fake with the hair.
With the hair. Yeah. I thought his whole demeanor was just funnier.
Yeah, and then when he got in that same scene that you're talking about, when he hopped on a boat, he acted like he didn't know where Gabe was. He was like looking around, like, "Oh, where's Gabe? Where's Gabe?" And then he pops down, like, he's putting on a show. And then the last piece about Zora, I thought she wasn't fucking around with those twins. I was glad that they didn't play the whole, I'm gonna hit this person once and then turn my back on them and run away.
When she got a taste for blood, she wasn't fucking around with nobody. Like, she was not wasting no time.
Another scene where they took forever to actually try to do anything. Because, like I said, they cut up the whole other family in 3 seconds, and these people, they're like all over them, checking out their faces and all this
struggling. Yeah.
It did not make a lot of sense there. But yeah, do you want to get into our overall review?
Yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was visually just really good. I thought all of the actors who played two characters, they played both characters very well and distinctly. There was only the overlap that there should be between playing the two characters that are supposed to be so similar, but they were two distinct characters from two distinct different worlds. And I enjoyed that. I thought it was creepy. I didn't think it was as scary as some people made it seem. It was definitely creepy, and it definitely made you think. I thought the ending was a little bit confusing. I understood it, but it still left you with certain questions, like people's actions and motivations and things of that nature.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and we could talk about that a little more after you do your review. But I enjoyed it. I would advise people to go see it. I thought it was a very good follow-up to Get Out. I thought it was an excellent movie. Again, I didn't really think it was a horror movie as much as more of a thriller. I could see the horror aspects as people die, but it wasn't. It was more of a thinker and what's going on, and there were twists and turns, and you had to just be prepared. A cerebral movie. You definitely have to. You have to watch this movie. You have to pay attention to this movie. It's another you can't just be on your phone movie. This is one of the movies I probably took the most notes out of all the movies we've watched, or at least top 2 or 3 of all the movies we watched so far, because there's just a lot going on, and you want to make sure that you could really reconcile all of that information that you're getting into a clear, concise thought, and that's what I was trying to do a lot through this movie. But again, I enjoyed it, and I would advise anybody to go see it.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of hoopla around this movie, which is not the movie's fault. I tried to keep that separate because a lot of times movies get the blame for the hoopla that they create, and you can't really control that a lot of times.
And we discussed this movie. We mentioned this movie on our second episode.
Yeah, so
talking about Predator.
Yep, and the hoopla, I mean, I'm on just the media and everybody hyping the movie up, etc. I thought the movie overall was pretty decent. I didn't think it was great or spectacular or anything like that. I understood most of the tethered people's motivation after the second viewing. It didn't really make the plot any better for me after having more clarity. There were still a lot of holes, as you mentioned. The movie itself didn't make me want to dig deeper, because I got that there are definitely other alternative meanings, etc., where you can go kind of crazy just finding connections in the movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I wasn't exactly itching to find a deeper meaning. It didn't leave me with that feeling. That wasn't even like the piece that was that needed more clarity for me on first watch. It was more of the tethered folks and trying to make the connection to the whole Hands Across America and what that all meant.
Did you understand it?
No, and even now after watching it, I still didn't get it.
Because I thought you were going to explain it to me. I was sitting here waiting. I grabbed my coffee and got comfortable.
No, even after watching it, the whole Hands Across America theme of it, the best that I understood was that's just what the chick picked up in terms of making their presence known after seeing that on the shirt of young Addy. If any of the listeners has some insight to that, feel free to let us know. Leave us a comment or drop something. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy the movie. Definitely recommend you go watch it.
So, elephant in the room, the ending. I'm confused.
Which part?
I was just like, so the whole Addy was actually red. So they swapped. So we got that they swapped, right? And that's why Addy couldn't speak, because she had to learn how to speak and all that stuff.
I feel like one part that maybe wasn't clear is that this was organized by Addy herself.
That was confusing to me.
Being the only person there, yeah.
Like, she organized all the red people by herself. How did she manage that? Did the red people have like a TV station? Because this was like a well-organized and structured attack to get ready and attack another entire whole population. That was kind of complicated for me. And are the tunnels only under the U.S.? There's no tunnels in the UK, or
they just mentioned the general government did this. Started cloning people.
Right.
That was as far as you get it as an explanation, which I feel like it was like a little bit of a cop out. But yeah, they mentioned that it's happening all over the place. So how are they all communicating all to do it at the exact moment?
They all had the same outfits. They all had the same shoes. This is more organized than some actual militaries.
I also found it crazy that they kept letting the mom just go off and do everything, and everybody just hung back. Like the dad was like, "Yeah, I'm hurt,
Right.
so I'm just gonna hang out here." And it just
Well, we already know he's a lame.
yeah, but not that much of a lame, goddamn boy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right. So follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Only a Movies Pod.
Also, let us know what movies you want us to cover in the future by responding to our Instagram story questions, leaving us comments, posting on all of our pages. We have been hearing you guys, us was suggested to us. We covered a couple of other movies that were suggestions as well. And soon enough, we're going to be doing a poll for you guys to select our next classic movie as well. So stay tuned.
Join us next time for more things that happen only in movies.